during the process of passing between entering here and going out here. If it offered, it hurt. Pay attention. Maybe the other is giving you a happy opportunity for you to correct in you what you arrived in a way you would not choose. It was being offended that you felt the encounter with the truth was painful. It was unpleasant. But it was also a happy opportunity you had to move forward, to evolve her. I say again, the great desire of each of us, the great commitment of each of us should always be evolution. We want to reach the best version that is at our disposal. For this, we are religious. I am a very happy Catholic Christian within my concept of faith. Christianity made sense to me. I don't know what your religion is, but I know your religion has instrumental. The best of yourself, the best of yourself, it is what God wants from us. Whatever religion, what we need to understand is that it will need to be a place for us, an opportunity to reach the best of us. I, as a Christian, say all the encounters of Jesus were like this. They were to promote the best of the people he found. So even if you arrive through an offense, pay attention. Before you get angry, before refusing, we need to love each other a lot. The cycle of self-love is very difficult to be experienced. Because we have a self-appreciation very often, we go into self-appreciation experiences that are absolutely harmful to us. We have a hard time managing our failures, from the smallest to the most bulk. Suddenly, you couldn't be as you would like to be. Suddenly, you didn't do what you would like to have done. From the most elementary choices, my people, what in philosophy we call accidental, which has nothing to do with the essence yet. It's just accidental. It's releasing. We make accidental choices all the time. The clothes we will wear, the place we will eat. But there are choices that are essential, which are those that change your structure, which modify who you are. So, what is interesting? The experience of realizing that in your daily life keeping self-love means you reconcile with the accidental and unfortunate choices you made. And depending on the accidental choice, it reverberates in essence. You accidentally chose a boyfriend, for example. Did you have a million men to choose from? Yes, because you are a woman who has... Then you choose that guy. Then you chose that guy. It was accidental. At first, it is accidental. Why is it accidental? Because it could be another. It is not a reality that you cannot replace it. Then living with that person who first moment was accidental, deepening, 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 and suddenly it became an essential relationship because it began to modify the deepest structures of its personality. The person who was accidental began to be in essence with you. And then, sometimes, these people can be terrible in our lives. They can spoil us. They can remove us from the axis of our truth. They can spoil us. They can hurt us. They can spoil us emotionally. Then what was accidental at first and repercussions essentially. So that's why. All the time we are experimenting. Accidental choices with which we frustrated. We frustrate a lot in an accidental experience. Then this frustration plays consequences in our essence, in our truth. So we are very undermining the structure of self-love. It is self-love that protects us from everything, including this story of being offensible or not. When I love myself, when you love yourself, when you have a respect for you, every time you are slandered, is it difficult? And what are you going to try to do? Not paying attention to slander, not spending energy on slander, not spending time on slander. It's the same thing as you fall on the asphalt, grate your hand, and when you start healing, you go thin again. This is to cultivate the offense. This is to cultivate slander. This is to strengthen the slanderer within us, or the negative energy that someone offered us on a tray. Who decides not to keep this? It is the self-love soldier, waiting for the self-love. So, waiting for your self-love, waiting for your self-love, is that you will scream. Keep it. Don't keep it. Keep it. But don't keep it. It's self-love. This instance I will invent here. I don't know if I'm talking a nonsense. There are psychologists who want to correct me. But I could say that self-love is the smartest emotional instance we can have in us. Am I wrong to say that? To think that self-love is the smartest instance in us. It is she who will discern everything that we will keep or throw away. It's interesting to think like that. I like to think like that. If it's wrong, then I'll correct myself over time. But the instance of self-love as something that is very purified, very certain, is the same as consciousness. When we talk about conscience, and I always like to say that God speaks to us by conscience. Why? Because consciousness is a place that is very pure in us. Why don't we sleep with quiet conscience? Because we fill it with impurity. She knows everything we do wrong. When we do not have a purified consciousness, we do not sleep, we are very bad. We are bothered by what made by decision or what they said, that acted. So what is interesting? I think that my conscience is the place of my self-love, and it is self-love that protects us. You are being invaded all the time. I'm not afraid of air. I'm sure you are being invaded all the time by people who have respect for you and who invade with good things. Because being invaded is not all bad, right? I am invaded by good people. I am opened by good people who bring positive energy, who bring me good words, which bring me good proposals, that bring me good deeds, good fluids. Excellent. But we are also being invaded by people who bring us many bales, many weights, many unpleasant situations. And this is where we are going to screen, which we will choose to keep from all this that is invasion in our life. Positive invasions, negative invasions. So it is self-love. This guardian, this soldier, who will be able to screen what we will keep in us and what we will reject. If you offend you, pay attention. Why are you offending you? Do you have any connection with your truth? It is quite possible that yes. It is quite possible that the offensive word is showing you what you don't like to recognize. And you feel scared when someone says that somehow is making public what you would like to stay forever behind the scenes. When it is slander, no. There is no connection to the truth. So, enter here, leave here, and no longer come back. The offenses that hurt us are the ones that reveal the truths we want to hide. When they are not minimally aligned with our truth, we want. They enter one ear and leave the other. And then some people say, no, priest. But how do we do it when we are slandered? Of course I'll be shaken. Of course I'll be upset. And of course the offense hurts. Yes, my people. The first thing we need to distinguish is that offense is very different from slander. When the other offends me, he is telling me something that concerns me or not. So, if it doesn't concern me, it's slander. So there is already a natural filter of understanding. The natural filter of understanding will help me distinguish whether what the other is telling me is an offense, or if what the other is telling me is slander. If the other is slander at me, it's different. He's not offending me, he may even have an offense load, but what he is doing is more serious. Here I mean that, yes, we have a huge difficulty to recognize what is fragile in us. It's very difficult. I have difficulty recognizing my defects. And when someone offends me from a defect I have, and I do everything to keep that defect under care, under disguise, immediately I have that indisposition that the other is telling me. Then another offered me because somehow found a truth inside me. What he is saying, if it is not slander, the differentiation is there. If he has not invented that, it is offending me because somehow has touched a reality of my personality, my way of being that bothers me. And of course it bothers me because I know that somehow is minimally aligned with a truth that I have to hide. Similarly, when I listen, I get, wow. But what absurd that this person is saying or writing or talking, right? Then what happens inside me? I naturally do a distancing process and say, no, what this person is saying, that this person is writing, has no alignment with my truth. Of course, it hurts. We get upset, but it doesn't take long. You don't let it take inside you. When I say, come in the ear, go out the other, it's because it won't be long. I am not minimizing the unpleasant effect that people have on us when they offend us. I'm just saying that when we know it has no connection with our truth, we let it pass. We do not feed back. Why? What does it hurt us so much in behavior? And often we adopt highly destructive behaviors for that. I listen, re-will, listen, rest, and stay in that cycle. Then I keep doing that vicious cycle. So a person writes something very unpleasant to make amends. If I know this is offending me, I pay attention. Why are you offending me? Do you have any alignment with my truth? He has, it's okay. Let me pay attention to this that the person is saying. Maybe this offense may even help me identify my behavior and make a modification, positively change something that can get better in me. Because of criticism that come from outside. Guys, when we want to grow, even the criticism of those who don't love us helps us. Write this in your heart, your understanding. When you want to grow, even the criticism of those who don't love you will help you grow. Everything can be transformed into instrumental transformation. What is cool is that when we identify that that word is often slanderous, it has no connection with our truth. That word has no reason. Makes no sense to us. What do you do? Enter the ear and go out in the other. As it passes, it hurts. While you read, hurt. But you don't let it take it. So that's what I was talking about. I have a horror of simplifying what to the other is important. So I don't want it all with my way of thinking, making you believe that what offends you is not important. No and yes. But I wanted you to pay more attention to what you really offend you. If you are offending you may have some reason. Now, if it is slander, if you have no connection to the truth, if you are completely misaligned with what you know of you, enter one ear and go out for another, and do not take long. It cannot be long because it is an exercise in self-love. It is difficult, and it is very difficult. Even today, in some answers that I gave, I said, look, it is an extremely painful process because it requires a lot of spiritual maturity. You come to the conclusion, the other is offending me because he is right. And I don't like to recognize myself like that. But he's right. When the other calls me selfish, when the other calls me possessive, when the other calls me envious, when the other calls me vain somehow, what the other is telling us concerns what the other realizes in us. It concerns our personal truth, so it causes suffering. We suffer. But it should not suffer. We should not suffer. We should interpret that warning as an opportunity to get out of it because many, or rather, sometimes it is even good to suffer. Yes, sometimes it is even good to suffer. We should not suffer is when what the other is saying is just a projection of oneself. He is projecting himself to me, and we should have this emotional and spiritual maturity that would put us in this stance of thinking. No, the other does not have. no reason for what you are saying. So come in here and go here. I say again, if in the process of passing by and out here, it hurts a little. It's normal. We are human. Words bleed with the same intensity as a dagger can bleed a body. Bleed our sensitivities. Bleed what is fragile in us. So it is no problem you realize that it bled, that it hurt to hear what you heard, that it hurt to read what you read. Only do the exercise of rationalizing this. What the other wrote is not his truth. What the other said is not your truth. So, if the other is saying, if the other is writing, it is an impression that he has and should not bother you so much. Because you know that your truth belongs to you, and you are already properly clarified that what he is slander, you do not correspond to what you know. Ultimately, my people are worth that rule. Others imagine we know who we are. And between keeping what the other finds in God knows between what God knows about us, I have no doubt that it is much more worth keeping with what God knows of each of us. Therefore, we keep our perseverance, keep our attention, keep our keen sensitivity to separate offenses from slander. Offenses are often associated with a truth that we do not want to recognize. Slander are situations that others invented for us, that therefore, because they have no connection with the truth, they will only bother us.